Okay, so this was the construction of Lagrange. It will be a into y 1 minus a in 1 minus a minus lambda equal to 0. Similarly, differentiate with respect to n, it will be 1 minus a y to the power a n to the power minus a. এই তো ঠিক করলাম minus lambda w equal to 0. No, sorry, a minus 1. তাহলে এখান থেকে যদি নিয়ে যায় a by 1 minus a উপরে হবে চলে গেল মাইনাস a, তাহলে আচ্ছা এটা হচ্ছে বাই y উঠে গেল, এটা হচ্ছে n 1 by w। তাহলে বেসিক্যালি কি বেরোলো n ইকুয়াল, আচ্ছা না n ইকুয়াল টু হবে না, y ইকুয়াল টু y দিকে গেল, তাহলে a w n by 1 minus a, তাহলে y প্লাস w n হলো 24, তাহলে এটা হচ্ছে a w n by 1 minus a প্লাস w n হলো 24, w n কে বার করে নিলাম, a by 1 minus a plus 1 24, এটা হলো wn into 1 by 1 minus a 24, n হচ্ছে না, ভুল করলাম কিছু? কি গন্ডল করলাম মনে না, y wn by 1 minus a n equal to হচ্ছে 24 into 1 minus, না এটা তো হবে না, তার এক মিনিট, আদর্শ ক্যালকুলেশনে ভুল করলাম না?
24w হবে।
হ্যাঁ ঠিক, ডাব্লিউটা মিস করেছি, কারেক্ট, আমি তাই ভাবছি কি ব্যাপার হলো, ঠিক 24w w, তাহলে এখানে কিছুই নেই, n into 1 minus a, সরি n into হ্যাঁ 1 minus a, ওকে তো হয়ে গেল, তাহলে n হলো 24 into 2 by 3 তাহলে 16, তাহলে l হলো 8। কি আছে সিম্পল ল্যাগ্রেঞ্জের ম্যাক্সিমাইজেশন, ওই অঙ্ক করতে এখনো আটকায়, তাহলে কি করে হবে? হ্যাঁ এই তো সেকেন্ড সেভেন, এই যে অঙ্ক ল্যাগ্রেঞ্জের না করতে পারলে তো কনজারভেটিভের কিছুই পারবি না করতে। যাই হোক, তাহলে বেসিক্যালি এখানে আমরা করলাম ওই কারণে, হোয়াট ইজ দি লার্নিং হিয়ার? The learning is that just because L equal to L of W doesn't mean W doesn't mean L never equals to some L star, যেটা এখানে হচ্ছে তাই তো, সেখানে L star is basically 24A, which is a constant, so this is independent of W. That's the whole point of doing this problem. Clear? যে আমাকে আমার সিস্টেমে একটা ডাব্লিউ আছে মানে এরম নয় যে আমি থিওরিতে বলেছি এল ইকুয়াল টু, কেন তার কারণটা কি? কারণ এল যদি একটা কনস্ট্যান্ট হয় তার মানে তো সেটা ডাব্লিউরই ফাংশন, তাই না? এফ এক্স ইকুয়াল টু 1, এই ফাংশনটা কি এক্স এর ফাংশন নয় নাকি? অবভিয়াসলি এক্স এর ফাংশন, যাই এক্স দিই না কেন 1 দেবে, তো সেরকম এটাও অবভিয়াসলি ইটস এ ফাংশন অফ ওয়েজ, বাট দ্য ফ্যাক্ট ইজ যে ওয়েজ আমি যাই হয় না কেন ইট উইল বি 24a, সো এ ইকুয়াল টু 1/3 হলে 8 হয়ে গেল। that is the learning here, ওই কারণেই অঙ্কটা করা, বিকজ জেনারেলি ওই হয় মানে প্যাটার্ন থিঙ্কিং ওই আর প্রবলেম হয় যে ডাব্লিউ নেই তাহলে বোধহয় গোলমাল হয়ে গেল, এরকম কোনো ব্যাপার নেই তো, অঙ্ক তো একটা মেথডোলজিক্যালি সলভ করা, তার সাথে ডাব্লিউ আছে কিনা সেটা বড় প্রবলেম না, আর সব থেকে বড় কথা হচ্ছে যে একটা কনস্ট্যান্ট ফাংশন বেরোনো মানে তাতে ডাব্লিউ নেই আর্গুমেন্টে, ননসেন্স আইডিয়া, তাই না? ওকে, এই হলো ব্যাপার, ঠিক আছে? Now we will move on to level leisure choice and price effect equal to substitution effect plus income effect. So this is what is we're going to learn now. Obviously, to look at price effect, we need to draw a lot of diagrams. Okay. So first of all, we are going to draw a diagram. As I said, that we are interested in effect of a change in wage. And for that matter, here we are assuming that wage increases. So our price effect, it will be done under the assumption that wage increases. Diagrammatically, this means that the budget line becomes steeper. Okay, so let's draw a diagram. Obviously, always remember this, whenever we are drawing a diagram, in that diagram, in our diagram, we are saliently, we are always assuming whether income effect is dominating the substitution effect or not. Because in a single diagram, we can't show it really. And whenever I'm choosing to draw a diagram, the result basically tells us whether here substitution effect dominates income effect or the other way. Okay, so let's draw a diagram. So first of all, the time constraint. So 24, this is our time, right? Okay. All right, so first is a more flatter budget line. So let's say this is L1, okay? And the IC goes like this. So this is our E1, this is our N1, and also H is measured this way on the direction of origin, okay? So that gives us some H1, value of H1 also. Okay, so now wage increases, so W1, let's say, goes to W2, and our budget line, it becomes steeper. Okay, so steeper, and it becomes basically this. Okay. All right. Let's just say that the second equilibrium appears here. Okay, so then it becomes N2 corresponding to H2. So from E1 to E2 is our price effect. Now, to measure the substitution effect, we're going to draw a budget line which is parallel to this L2 and which is also tangent to the lower IC which generated E1. So it goes something like this. Okay, so this becomes our E star, correspondingly N star and H star. Okay, so what is the breakup? The substitution effect is going from E1 to E star, and the income effect is going on from from E star to E2. No. Wage increases, correct? But leisure decreases following the substitution effect. So that means our substitution effect here also is negative, and you know the result that substitution effect is always negative. So that holds true here also. What is the idea here? The idea is pretty simple. If wage increases, then the price of leisure increases. And since leisure become pricey, you substitute it with income. Or rather, not income, sorry, here it is consumption. So you substitute it with consumption goods. Okay. So that's the simplest idea. Okay. So let's just write like this. So wage increases, that implies price of non-work increases. That means N star, or rather N star is a symbol here. So N1 decreases to N star. So that's our substitution effect. Okay, now what about the income effect. The income effect is the rest of it. And sorry, this arrow must be coming from N1. Okay, so now as you can see in the diagram that the income effect goes into the opposite direction, right? So if I draw the income effect, the arrow goes like this, reaching N2 here. So what is the income effect? E start to E2. And here, since it is going in the opposite direction, the income effect is positive. Okay, right? So that means our N star, it increases and goes passing N1, reaching N2, where N2 is greater than N1. Okay, so end of optimization, the individual is choosing even higher leisure. Okay, so here as you can see, income effect is greater than dominates substitution effect, and the exact term will be over compensates the substitution effect. So income effect over compensates substitution effect. Okay. Now, what happened is something which is normal in the sense that wage increased, correct? So that means the income of labor increased. So wage increased, increasing the income of individual, let's say, okay, individual. And that increases leisure. So if I see from that, if income increases and leisure increases, that means, what does this mean? This means that leisure is a normal good. So here, leisure is a normal good, right? So income increases, okay? And the leisure that is being bought increases also. All right. So if I say here, the result is that leisure increased and thereby labor decreased, right? So this is the result of the diagram. This is what we have shown in the diagram. Now, as it happens, you know that this is not the only case, right? But by doing that, we have also found something which is not so common. What do we find? We find that the price effect here essentially is positive. So the price, if you look at the second, the part of this chain, if you look at this part of the chain, it says that income increases, so leisure increases, and we are fine with that. It says that leisure is a normal good, but if I just add this says that wage increases, and in the end, leisure increases, right? Yeah, that's what it happens. And we know that given substitution effect is negative and income effect is positive, and price effect is positive. Now that is something comparing to consumer behavior, which is a bit odd in the sense that it's not the usual scenario. So price effect is positive here. The diagram is drawn in such a way, right? And in the sense that wage increases, as a result, leisure decreases and leisure increases and labor decreases. Sorry. So that means if I now draw the labor supply curve from here, from this diagram, so here labor supply curve is backward bending. labor supply curve is backward bending. So if I draw a labor supply curve from here, okay, then I'll find what? Then I'll find that with the increase in wage, labor basically is decreasing. So this is the optimization diagram corresponding to a backward bending labor supply curve, or rather I must say the backward bending section of the labor supply curve. That is more appropriate. Now, it is not the case that with increase in wage we can observe that. You are going to consider the effect of change of inheritance also, and we'll see that a change in inheritance can also result into a backward bending scenario, which tells us that essentially the slope of labor supply curve, whether it will be backward bending or not, the slope of labor supply curve depends on the fact whether the consumer treats the leisure as inferior or normal. So that's what is the important point here. Okay, so effect of a change in inheritance. And we'll see Y star increases from 0. So that's what we have assumed. So let's say we are talking about some scholarship. Okay, so let's look at the diagram. And as it happens, H is measured in the opposite direction. Now, here we have our time constant 24. With inheritance, even when I am taking a leisure of 24 hours, I will enjoy some income, right? So without inheritance, the budget line starts from this point on the axis. But with inheritance, let's say Y star, which is positive, the budget line will shift and shift up to this point. And it will be a shift, so it will be parallel, and yet it will look like this. Okay, so this is the lower budget line without the inheritance, and the higher budget line which is with inheritance and with a shift. Now we are going to draw two diagrams. So I'm just going to repeat the structure of this diagram on the side. So N, then Y, then this 24, then the first one which is zero inheritance, and the second one with a positive inheritance. So what is the reason of drawing these two diagrams? Because with inheritance, the change in the direction of work, that is whether you are going to increase or decrease work, that depends on how we are viewing leisure. So let's just say that in the diagram on the left hand side, leisure is normal. So what will happen? This E1 will be first equilibrium, and with inheritance you'll be asking for more leisure. So now, since you have money received from others, you will just become more lazy. Okay, so that's one scenario. And the other scenario where leisure is inferior, what you basically say by inferior is that given you have more money doesn't mean that you are going to sit down and enjoy it. So here it will be N2. Okay. So in the diagram on the left hand side, leisure increases. On the right hand side, leisure decreases. By that, what you are saying that in the left hand side, labor reduces, and the right hand side, labor increases. Okay. All right. So this is in the case where we are talking about inheritance. As you can imagine, that similar kind of a diagram can be drawn for wage also, and you have drawn it, right? So in the first diagram that I've seen, there we have we have shown that the labor supply curve that is coming up is basically increasing. And in the diagram just before these two that we have drawn, there we have there I'm showing that what will be the optimization structure if the labor supply is backward bending. Okay, so now our job is very simple. Now we are going again, we'll be going back to a scenario with zero inheritance, and then we are going to combine the leisure changing its character. Okay, so leisure first becoming inferior and then it is becoming normal, and we'll see how a labor supply curve can be generated which is at the same time upward sloping and beyond some wedge backward bending. Okay. So again, let's go back to our scenario where y star equals 0. All right. And h is measured towards the origin, right? So now we are going to draw 3 budget lines. So let's say the first one is for a really low wage. Okay. So this is our L1, which is drawn against W1. Then the wage increased slightly. So this one is our L2 drawn against some W2. And the last one, which is quite a high wage. Okay, so we have to increase the diagram. Okay, all right. So this, the third one is quite higher. And this is, let's say this is our L3 drawn against some wage W3. So what is our scenario here? We start from W1, which is really low, and then we increase it to W2, though low is not a term really we can write in an objective science. But anyway, so we start from some W1, it increases to W2, and then it increases to W3. And now we are going to look at the possibilities of equilibrium. We have seen that there are many possibilities, rather 2 possibilities, and I will draw them. Okay, so let's just say that the initial was this E1, okay? So a very low wage, and that actually tells you not to work a lot, because even if you increase your work, the wage is not going to, your income is not going to be reach very high. So that's the kind of choice that you observe at times with low income earner. Okay, then wage increases, and because leisure is inferior, with an increased wage the leisure reduces substantially, right? So this is the, okay, it's not right here. So this is the first substantial decrease. So wage increases, leisure becoming inferior, reduces a lot with an increase in income. Then the wage you increased further, and then what happens? So your income from higher, it becomes even higher, but then leisure becomes a normal good. So you choose a higher leisure. So in the next stage, the leisure actually increased. Okay. So let's do it again. So from E1 to E2, leisure is inferior. Okay. So N1 decreases to N2 and H1 increases to H2. Okay. Then from E2 to E3, leisure is normal. So with a higher wage, your income increases, but with an increase in income, you consume more leisure. So N2 increases to N3 and H2 reduces to H3. Okay. All right. So this is how it goes. Okay. So if I draw the for the direction of H1 and H2 and H3, the direction will be like this: H2, which is much higher than H1, and then H3, which is less than H2. Okay. All right. Now on the right hand side, we are going to just draw the diagram of labor supply curve that will be generated by these three choices. Okay. But just for simplicity, and as we know the details, we are not going to draw the demand for leisure curve with respect to this one. Okay, that is not really needed. Okay, so let's just revise again. Two possibilities explained by three equilibriums. From the first to second, inferior leisure reduces leisure. From the second to third, normal leisure increases leisure. Okay. All right. So we'll draw our labor supply curve here, 0. So here LS and here W. Okay. So remember one thing, in this axis, nowhere on y-axis W is measured, right? So here we can take arbitrarily three wages. So W1 here, then W2 here, then W3 here. Okay. So now let's see. In the first one, labor was quite low. So let's take it here, H1. So H1 and W1. In the second one, labor was quite higher. So let's say H2 is here with respect to W2. And then in the third, labor reduced again. So let's say somewhere in the middle, H3 going to connect W3. Now if we connect these 3 points, we'll get our backward bending labor supply curve. So this is the backward bending labor supply curve that we're looking for. Okay. Now, why is this phenomenon observed? What is the reason of this phenomenon? The reason is pretty simple, actually. So we're going to write the result. Everything is connected to income effect, right? Treatment of leisure being normal and inferior. So we'll write, so what is the result? The shape of labor supply curve, okay, whether upward or backward bending depends on income elasticity of leisure. So let's just repeat it again. What is the result? The shape of labor supply curve, whether upward or backward bending, depends on income elasticity of leisure. Okay. So what is the phenomena here? With lower income, leisure remains inferior. Hence, when wage increases, leisure decreases. But with enough higher wage, leisure becomes normal and it increases, thereby decreasing the labor. Okay. Now this shape gives us two very important implications. The implications are following. Number one is that as you keep on increasing the wage of a labor or an individual rather. So let me just write that. Okay. So two important results. Number one is that as you keep on increasing wage, an individual is not going to increase labor. Is not going to increase labor. Now, this is something very important, that more money doesn't always lead you to work more. Okay, it may at lower wages, but it does not have this effect at higher wages. So that is the first one. Number two, which is also very important, is that increasing income tax does not imply higher tax revenue always. Higher tax revenue always. Okay. Take for example, see, what is the effect of income tax? If income tax increases, that essentially means your wage decreases. Okay. Now this wage reduction, it can lead to two phenomena, as it is clear from this labor supply curve. It can increase labor or it can decrease labor, depending on where this individual is. So if this individual is somewhere around W3, T increases will lead to labor increases, right? Okay. T will reduce W3, but labor will increase. Now that's good, because if work increases, then since everybody is working more, production will be more and tax revenue will be higher. But what if someone is here? Here, if tax increases, then labor actually falls. So you do not know, right? It may end up with a lower tax revenue because now everybody is choosing to work less. So that's a very interesting phenomenon, which gives us this result that if the government wants to increase the tax revenue, it is not always a good idea to increase tax. Rather, it is good idea to have a differential tax system, which we do have, where an increase in tax will be appropriate for someone who is earning quite a lot of money, and a decrease in tax or probably no tax will be far more appropriate if you're working with a lower wage. What do you see in reality, right? So there is an income slab up to which there is zero tax, and then there is an income slab where the tax rate is really low. But for higher people with higher income, not only there is income tax, there are taxes of other nature also. Okay. And the opposite result is always also very important, that if in this zone, that is in higher wage, if you actually reduce tax, then that reduction of tax is not going to lead to higher production. Actually, it will reduce it, because people with higher wage now, even higher wage now, will work less. Okay. আচ্ছা, দাঁড়া এক মিনিট, ক্লোজ করার আগে সোয়া 10টা তো 5 মিনিট বাদে আরেকটা শুরু করছি, ট্যাক্সেরটা জাস্ট বলে শেষ করে দেবো, ঠিক আছে? বেশিক্ষণ লাগবে না। আচ্ছা, আদর্শ তোদের ক্লাস করা থেকে?
স্যার আপনার রেকর্ডিং চলছে।
ও ঠিক আছে, আমি পরে এডিট করে দেবো, তাতে কিছু যায় আসে না।
ঠিক আছে স্যার, ক্লাস এখন নেই, অনেক দেরিতেই আছে স্যার, তবে সম্পূর্ণদের আছে যতক্ষণ।
তোদের কি ক্লাস আছে?
না আমাদের